You're listening to the Caramel Apples Podcast, the apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet, with your host, Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee.
Now this week, Coop, we're going a little off road. We do that every now and then because I don't know, because we can. But I am a sucker for. I love to peruse the news, and I like to see what's new and out in the news feeds every week.
Yeah.
And there's this newer feature on one of the famous pages that they'll ask and poll people about different things, um, experiences, and they'll say, they'll want submissions like, have you ever done XYZ, or do you remember this? And then people will,
Yeah.
they'll just, put in their submissions and they'll pick some out of a hat or whatever. And like some of them are pretty run of the mill. Some are very benign. Others, depending on what they're asking for, are kind of shocking, which I kind of stay away from those. But some are just downright funny or relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And I stumbled on this one. Well, I think it was last week sometime. That was really just kind of talking about um, a weird experience. Can you? What's the weirdest experience you remembered as a child, a teenager growing up? Around your friends or your school or whatever. Just kind of what popped into your mind that you would consider like, oh wow, it was nostalgic, not maybe in a good way,
Yeah.
but maybe it etched a reaction in you that now you're like, oh, that's where that came from. No, I can't do that. So I felt this was kind of relatable for us because we are always talking about our girl squad.
Yes, absolutely.
And we have a few of these of our own that we're just kind of like, uh. They definitely shaped us.
Well, much like what you said, we're going a little off road today, which can be a little scary sometimes. So this is perfect, a perfect lead in because some of this stuff is a little scary.
Yeah. And like if you think about going somewhere with your girl squad, your friends, or their house, or they're coming to your house, um, that's where memories and stories and all that's where they come from. That's what it's built off of, your memories.
Right.
And again, some are good, some are bad. Some are very paralyzing, but this is what when you think of coming of age and all that, this is the kind of stuff that makes you who you are now. I mean, this is the building blocks of who you are currently. So,
Right.
um, we got a few of them. So let's get into it. To our apple snack this week. You ready, Coop?
I'm ready, Kennard.
Okay. So would you like to do the honors of the first one?
Okay, well, this one I think would have been very, very, for lack of a better term, frightening. Because when we read this, I was thinking, I wonder if they thought that this was a bidet. Or I wonder if this person actually had a bidet because this poor individual, when they were younger, I think they were preteen, if I'm not mistaken. They used the bathroom at their friend's house, and instead of toilet paper, there was this towel rack that had four different towels on it,
Oh my god.
and these towels were not clean. Let's just say that.
Oh my
Um,
god. Again.
and this person, they were they weren't like extremely descriptive, but they did give the general idea that these were used to clean a certain body part,
Oh my god.
and they even told them that these were the such and such towels, right, for everyone's use. They had their own personal towel. So, needless to say, this child went home, told their mother, and that was the last time they went to that person's house. And I just wonder, it's like, did you stop talking to them altogether, or did you just always host parties at your own place at that point? It's like, yuck.
OMG. I don't know. That's like, what's the thinking, right? I mean, this was protocol at this particular family's house.
Yeah.
What was the thinking? I
What
mean,
was the thinking? Because even if you're gonna have that, okay, not that you would, but if you were gonna use something like that, why wouldn't you wash them after every use?
oh my
Can you
goodness.
imagine? Yuck.
And they had company, so it's like this is not what a thing. They had somebody over another day, you know.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
That's scary. Oh my god.
So this one would have definitely traumatized Coop and myself. I mean, the way we were brought up and everything, like our mama, she was dot your I's and cross your T's type of mama.
Yes.
This wouldn't
No,
have flown.
not at all.
Whew, okay, so our first submission right out the gate, shocking. Let's roll into our second one.
Let's do that. Yes. Would you like the honors of that?
Yeah, because yeah, I can totally relate to this one. Okay, so this person went to their friend's house and just chilling, having a good time or whatever, and they catch a glimpse of something.
Mhm.
And am I seeing this? And they look again, and yes, they were. So
Mm.
our listeners are probably like, so what was it? All right, Orchard Archivers, there was a 4-foot python. Okay.
Mm.
Just roaming free in the house. And and maybe some of you actually enjoy and like reptilia, snakes, and all that. That's fine. I'm not one of those people. Um,
Mm.
and I
Yeah.
respect their environment. I respect their space in the world like mine, but I don't want them in my space. If it's in my friend's house roaming free, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, it's like there's a big red X on a caged one, right? Let alone just out and about, giving out party favors to people. Come on.
And obviously the owners, they said that the snake was very laid back, very, very chill.
Yeah.
So I mean, so they knew it, and they're like, it ain't gonna hurt nobody, ain't gonna hurt you, but it doesn't have to because it's gonna make me hurt myself getting away from it. So no, just no. I mean, love your snake, but my goodness, I'll stick with cats. Okay.
I totally picture the scene. If you were to be in that house and that
Oh,
happened,
oh.
you would have put a new doorway as you were trying to get out.
Yeah, Coop. It's like that Bugs Bunny cartoon with that big heart monster.
Yes,
And he
that's
found out that they were in front of an audience. He goes, people! And he ran and he busted through all those walls of the castle. Yeah, that'd be Rizzo.
that would have been the Rizzo for sure.
Ah.
Oh my goodness. Our next entry, this poor person, they it was her boyfriend, and she was invited. This was her first time going over to meet the parents. So,
Oh,
kind of a big moment in life, right?
exciting! Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, this is my dude, and I'm gonna meet his parents, so we're getting married tomorrow. All right. Yeah, so anyway, this was high school, I'm assuming. So anyway, very excited. They get over there and everything was going well and everything seemed totally normal.
Okay.
But she says until dinner time rolled around. And she said that his mom was like, okay, it's time to wash up. So, pretty much people are like, okay, go wash your hands, wash your face. That's kind of what she was expecting. So
Sure.
she wasn't completely thrown off guard. She was
Yeah.
ready to go wash her hands. But that's not what was meant in this home.
Uh-oh.
This household, when they say wash up, that means it's time to go upstairs and it's shower time. They
What?
shower, yes, prior to dinner every night.
Okay.
Right. So she handed her a bathrobe because she was also expected to shower.
Interesting.
Yeah. So here, food's ready, dinner is ready. everybody has to shower before they eat.
Oh
So
my
that tells
goodness.
you if food is not still cooking, it's going to be sitting out and it's slowly coming to room temperature as everybody is taking their showers and getting prepared, right?
Uh-huh.
So, long story short, there was 6 people that had to shower before they could eat their lasagna.
I hope they had some snacks while everybody else was taking a shower.
Right? Yeah. You're going to be famished by that time. So maybe that's the whole point. She's like, nobody's going to walk away from this dinner table saying, I'm not hungry or not liking what she fixed. Maybe I bet you that was the concept. She's like, I could have served them liver and onions. They're going to eat because they're hungry.
Mm-mm.
Right. So this poor girl was, she felt that it was totally bizarre, but yeah, they had to wait till everybody was done showering before they could eat their lasagna. Poor girl. Poor girl.
Yeah, did they like have to eat, in their bathrobes or anything?
Yeah. You know what? That was the rest of the story. Yes.
Ugh.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think we just move on.
That was completely different than submission one in our Apple snack this week. So I'd rather go for this one than the first one.
Yes,
But what do we know? Okay, our next one is okay, this one's kind of
yes.
yeah, this definitely stems back to our childhood too, because if our Orchard archivers, I don't know, we probably mentioned it here and there in the podcast. Um, but we weren't raised, our mom didn't, we didn't have pets growing up. So
No.
now that we're pet parents, Paul wents, um, it's kind of a new experience for both Cooper and I, and we really enjoy it. Oh, it's like we're Paul wents, so they can get on your nerves sometimes. But overall, it's a very, very enlightening experience, and we're glad to have it. Um, but we're both still very, very particular. There's still some of that old stuff etched into our brains,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
we are both very OCD about pet hair and what
Yeah.
they touch and what they get on, scratching our furniture. No, 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 no. Like, they are allowed to be cats, but not completely. Like, there's still some order, law, paw, and order. So, so submission 9. This person talking about they went to their boyfriend's house, their family's house for dinner,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and there again, first impressions. They're ready to go. They're ready to see what this is about. And when they get there, this person's like, "There's pets all over the counter in the kitchen," and they're just they're just doing their thing, And then they were saying that after the dinner was cooked, that there was pet hair all over the counters, all over the kitchen, all in the food.
Ick.
And again, this person was very gracious. Like, thank you for inviting me to dinner. I'm trying to make a good impression on my boyfriend's folks. And
Right.
she had to eat the food. So it was she just
Oh.
had to grin and bear it and try to eat around the furry bits. She's big. She has a bigger consistency than myself. I would not have been able to do that.
And I just have to say, these girls are really taking one for the team with these, because it always seems like it's the girl going to the boyfriend's house. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to make a good impression. They don't want to step on anybody's toes and everything, and getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, these boyfriends need to meet their sweethearts a little halfway.
Yes. See what we go through for you, man? Come on.
And you're welcome.
But yeah, that's the idea. You go into someone's home. I mean, we've been to functions before where people would literally be like, okay, who made this? Who made that? Because they knew that they were like severely, that pets kind of ran their homes and they would not eat food that came from those homes. So, I mean, like you said, that's kind of like a nightmare experience. You don't want to serve anybody food that's
Oh,
got that. So,
I'll tell you, Coop, and I won't go along on this, but back to our girl squad. Um, and I won't go long on it, but really, this happened. I remember seeing this at one of our best friend's house.
mm-hmm,
And
yeah.
the mom and dad were off working; they weren't even at home. It was all those girls out the house cooking and doing stuff, and they have dogs and cats.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Same thing. We were making cookies or something, and as long as you say, long story short, Same thing. The cats were up on the counter, heads in the bowls.
Mm-hmm.
The dog was up with paws on the counter, licking stuff off the counter. Just kind of like we were gonna have cookies. I'll have some chips instead in this closed bag here.
Yes.
I'm not doing that. I just oh, or if we had a pizza, it was lying on the floor in the box, and then the animal would come over and step all over the box of the pizza. Oh no,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
no, no, no,
Yes. Because that is just, we were not accustomed to that.
no,
So,
no,
yeah.
no.
And it stuck with you all this time.
It did. Anybody comes to our house, what do you have to offer? Somebody comes to your house, you're a host.
Yeah.
You want them to feel like, one, they want to eat what you cooked in your kitchen, and two, that if they had to use the facilities, that they would not feel like bugs were crawling up and down them. You want them to feel very at home and comfortable.
Absolutely.
We get that from our
Absolutely.
mom, because she
Hmm.
was dot your I's, cross your T's type of lady. Now, we're not trying to sound like we're holier than thou, but
No, no, not at all.
we were raised on that standard, and it has stuck. That's what Coop was saying. So, and I'm
Yes.
I'm grateful for it, because
Absolutely.
you have people over, your friends or whatever, you want to offer them relaxation. You don't want them to worry at all.
Right.
Okay, cool. Well, about your next submission.
Well, this is kind of on the mama tip because I instantly thought of the moms when read this one because this is totally something she would do. Now, don't get us wrong. Mom was an amazing cook.
Oh,
Okay.
she was.
Mom, she knew how to just throw down with very little effort. So she knows what she's doing. So this person, they say that they were invited to a friend's house and the mom served bean soup. So just giving you a little heads up. That's what I'm saying. Mom, she could cook bean soup and it would be amazing.
Oh
But
yeah.
if somebody were to say, "Oh, you want to come to my house?" and you're like, "Oh, what are you serving?" and they're like, "Bean soup," you probably go, "Oh, really?" I mean, so that's it. Is that the appetizer? Oh wait, that's the hubby hubs. That's what they say. They don't get too excited about soup. But anyway, I digress. So this person, they were invited over to have homemade bean soup at their friend's house, and they went over. They gladly accepted the invitation, and they said that they ate the soup, and it was delicious. They really enjoyed it. So after the main course, this is the clincher of the story. She had made chocolate cake.
Mm.
So the person that was invited to the house was probably like, this is what I've actually been waiting for. Like, yeah, let me into that cake. Let me have some of that. So she cut up each person a slice and um she served it though in a very unique way.
Oh no, what happened? What happened?
She didn't serve it on plates, okay? Let's just say she's like, there's already bowls, everybody already has utensils. She put the cake in the soup bowls.
OMG.
And yeah, the person said that she just plopped it into their bowls. But what was so troubling was there was still like an inch of soup left in the bowl. It's like she didn't even make sure, like, let's rinse those bowls out and we'll serve it in the bowl. Okay. She didn't even make sure there was nothing left in there. Like there was still soup actually in the bowl that she put the chocolate cake in.
OMG.
So they said that they exchanged, these puzzled glances and everything. But the family dug right in. And, the chocolate cake soaked in bean soup was an ordinary thing for them, apparently, because, like, they didn't even hesitate. They just did their thing. So,
Oh
now
my.
that is one thing. Mom would not have done that to you. She'd serve you
No,
delicious bean soup, but she would not make you eat your soup with chocolate cake morsels in it. Okay.
not at all. Wow, these are some unique experiences this week.
There really are, and you get a little chuckle, because you're like, oh man, because you can instantly put yourself in some of these situations, like, man, how did they survive?
It would almost be like your own personal horror movie.
Absolutely. So, speaking of horror movies, we've kind of already touched on one other person's example. You want to talk about the next one?
Okay. Again, this resonated because we are cat parents. So again, two friends. Girl goes over to her friend's house, and and house is pretty decent house, and and she's like, "Oh, something something about, oh, let's go. I'll give you a tour." And then she's like,
Yeah.
"I want you to see my cat room." And Coop and I can attest to this. You got cats? Come on, bring them on. Let's see them. Visit.
Right, right.
So this is how the submitter. That's how they were. They're like, "Okay, let's see this." So she goes to the door and opens it up. She says, "Wow, a whole room for your cats?" And she says, "Yeah." Opens the door. No, not one or two cats, not even five. Over 20 cats.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
No litter boxes.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, those cats, their wastes.
Hmm.
So if there were no litter boxes provided in the cat room,
Yeah.
the room was their litter box. So,
Mm,
okay.
mm,
And it said that the
amazing.
owner of the house just walked right in there, like, "Hey, come on in," bare feet
Yes.
on the nasty floor with feces and urine, cat feces and urine. And just kind of nonchalantly said, "I don't like cleaning litter boxes. So this way they're in here, they do their thing, and I just clean this once a week."
Yes.
So, like that was completely normal. Like, I don't, what's the thinking?
Is there any? That's the question. I don't think there was any.
I hope that girl's not a future hoarder, because I've seen a lot of those hoarding shows and they have cats and all kinds of stuff everywhere just hiding and stuff. Oh, God.
Yes, absolutely. It's a
Ugh.
scary world out there, people.
Yeah, you just never know.
Right? And that's just it. Like when she said, yeah, the cat room and everything, like the rest of the house was normal.
Yeah.
So she was not alarmed until that door opened. So you just really don't know. You do not know what is in a home.
Yep. You see pretty houses and closed doors, you never know, like you said.
Oh my goodness. Scarred for life.
Okay, so we got one last one to share with our Orchard Archivers this week, and Coop's doing the honors on that. So,
Yes. So this one was a little bit unusual because it takes place back in the 70s. And she this person was like, I don't know if it was male or female, but they said that this was actually their house was the strange house. The strange experience happened right there within their own walls.
okay.
Yeah, and it was their dad was a doctor, and it wasn't uncommon for him to bring home patients' blood,
Like lab samples?
lab samples, yes, and he would store it in the fridge right next to the orange juice.
Oh, no, 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 no,
So
no,
let's
no.
just say, I guess it's good that it was blood because that's something you could recognize pretty quickly versus a possible urine sample. Because what if you're thinking, I thought I poured myself a glass of tea? I mean, just saying. I mean, someone, you might mistake that if you weren't
Oh,
careful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sleepwalk too, so that would not fit them at all either. Oh, my.
Gag, gag, gag. And then like then he would take it out the next morning and take it over to wherever it needed to be um diagnosed or whatever. So literally that was something that happened back then. Things were pretty loosey goosey, I guess. Not strict.
True. This is the same era that seat belts and car seats weren't a thing either. So,
Yes, yes. So that person, they realized that their house was kind of maybe the scary experience for any friends they brought over. So they're like, we're
oh,
gonna beat you to the punch. We'll tell our own story.
these were pretty interesting. I don't think they were crazy shocking, but maybe a little appalling. Yeah, because you think this is a normal scenario for certain people.
Yeah. And I remember back, remember just to what you were talking about, our girl squad. And how our friends, it was always the same group of us girls, but two of them lived across the street from each other in the country. And remember, we got the bright idea we were going to have a clubhouse.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And so one of the set of sisters, because there were several sets of sisters in this girl squad of ours, they decided they were going to host it at their place. We were all in agreement. We're like, great. So they did it and behind their house, and they used for our clubhouse for the walls, they just used clotheslines, and they put up old sheets that their
Hmm.
mom allowed them to use. And I remember they had an old farm door from like the house that was taken down. So we actually used the door to enter this that was kind of propped up against the tree. It wasn't connected to anything. It's just we had to use our imaginations, right? So we used that to go in to the clubhouse, but then there was another screened off portion with another old sheet. So they're like, check this out. So they were awful proud when they opened up that curtain that we had a bathroom, right? We had facilities because it was a toilet seat and lid.
Oh my God, here we go. We're just like some of these submissions.
Right. To our horror, it was on the ground. They were so proud of the fact that they had dug a hole, but we had the toilet lid and seat that we could use if we needed to.
Which did not happen, people.
It did not happen. No, it was there strictly for appearances, apparently, because I don't know if any of us girls actually did it. Because gross. And so for our first meal of initiation into our clubhouse was some fruit cocktail. And the fruit cocktail, we couldn't even nail that, right? So it was all served in bowls. And one of the little sisters, who wasn't necessarily in the group, but she was dying to be part of the girl squad. So we allowed her to come over. She was actually served some fruit cocktail in a bowl, and along with the cherries, the pears, the peaches, and apple slice, there was a fly floating around. Well, the rest of us girls wouldn't eat the fruit cocktail because we're like, ew, gross, right? But she ate it.
Oh
She
my
was,
God.
poor little thing. She was that determined to want to be part of things that she ate the fly fruit cocktail. Disgusting. So, yes, we have our own horror stories, self inflicted, but
Oh my goodness.
ick.
So that is, yeah. Yeah, we're knipsing ourselves out on this week's episode. Oh, before we tie this up, though, to our Orchard Archivers, we kind of went, like I said, we went out on a limb this week, but what is the weirdest thing that you've seen at a friend's house, or some weird experience you can remember back when you were coming up, your coming of age stories?
Yeah.
Um, Let us know. Hit us back and tell us what you got. It don't have to be anything crazy. It can be benign, but we'd rather them not be like disgusting or shocking, but
Yeah.
just something that is etched into your mind, and you were just kind of like, I'll never forget that. That was completely traumatizing to me. Oh goodness, this was great.
Yes.
Well, join us again next week, and we've got probably some more interesting topics of in the news or whatever. So join us, and we'll see you then.
And that's it for this week's Apple Snack. But as you know, there's always more where that came from. So stay tuned. Subscribe, review, and spread the word. See you next time in the Retro Orchard, and thanks so much for listening.